We have
guest?
very special guests as we have chess grandmaster Jeffery Xiong, everybody's friend, to join us.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Jeffery. Nice to see you.
Hey, happy to be here, guys.
Yeah. First question. What do you think of the candidates?
Well, I mean, I have to say it's been really exciting so far. I thought, in general, I think everyone probably hopes that, everyone shows their best and we get this sort of tournament where all kinds of results are possible. And I guess that is somewhat true, but in this case, maybe Nepo in particular is kind of distancing himself. So right now, obviously the games have been very exciting, but I just hope that things sort of get closer,
Yeah. Is it surprising to you that Ding Liren, with all of his experience, with his great rating, has performed poorly?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have your fair share of surprises so far. I think the biggest factor for Ding, okay, outside of maybe there is obviously the reason that he hasn't played much top level classical chess recently. Like he had to play these few tournaments before just to get in. Maybe didn't really have this type of opposition for sure not. And then the other thing is more mental, which is he didn't actually have somebody coming from China with him, right? And I'm sure, Yasser, you can speak about this yourself, but to have somebody with you is just, it's vital, honestly. So
Right.
I think not having somebody made it really tough for him.
Of course.
Dursa, do you have some questions for Jeffery?
Question about you. So when is your next big tournament?
Actually, I'm flying to Philadelphia on Wednesday to play in the World Open. So
Wonderful.
pretty soon, yeah.
Nice.
You've won the World Open in the past, Jeffery?
Technically, I guess I tied with Liam 1 year, I think, in 2019. But
Okay.
he beat me in the playoffs. So
yeah. Okay. Alejandro, jump in. Quiz the X Factor.
Absolutely, Jeffrey. Good to have you on camera. A young man I've known for many, many years as we played in the Dallas Chess Club back in the day. Jeffrey, it seems like you are almost there. You're making that step to start thinking about fighting for those candidate spots. What do you think is making the difference between these high 2600s, low 27s, and these guys?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I wish I could give you a definitive answer, but I think I've honestly believe that the margins between all these levels which you've just said are very small, but I think just certain things that like the better players will do differently. I would highlight the resistance and like the level of defense when it gets higher. And one evident example is right here in this tournament, where I think if you look at Fallujah specifically, he dominated the Grand Swiss and also the European Team Championships by beating up on these 2600 level players. And obviously he played very well in those games, but when it was time to face off against these upper class guys, it was much more difficult. So I think that's kind of the biggest hurdle.
Good. Jeffery, if I can, today it says fight for first. It's do or die for Fabi. I'm going to give you the current position. I'm sure you've been following the game in real time. We've just seen this move knight a6 to c5 by Jan. So knight e7 check as well as bishop f1 are both on Fabi's agenda, the bishop hitting the knight on d6. Take us through your thought process if you were in Fabi's shoes and you felt that this was a must-win game. Number one, you think you think you're better, but do you think you're winning?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say that Fabi, he's done very well to get here, I think.
Right.
I just want to point out, I've been by far the most impressed with Fabi's opening prep coming in compared to everybody else. Like even yesterday's game, I think he had very nice prep. And actually, I'm sorry to sort of steer away from the question, but I'm just so curious that yesterday, if you remember, when Hikaru blitzed out that move knight g3,
Right.
I was sure it was like a bluff or some kind of mix-up, but after, I watched Hikaru's interview, I'm not so sure. So what did you make of that?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier too. Was that knight g3 and the two minor pieces versus the rook from Fabi's game yesterday, and the idea was that Hikaru said that wasn't actually his preparation, that it was some kind of a finger slip. He intended something else. It worked out really well. But when we saw the position after c4, we were actually impressed by Hikaru's preparation. You're saying you were impressed by Fabi's.
Yeah, because I think, I think you're highlighting the critical moment there. When he played c4 and Hikaru, he found this brilliant idea in knight h1, then
Right.
he really turned the tables and it became really, just tough for black. But if he had gone e4, maybe Fabi would be in the driver's seat instead of c4, right?
Really?
Yeah, that was a huge discussion that we had yesterday too, between
Exactly.
e4 and c4, and that's, giving up the d4 square, does it actually pay off, or is it just going to be torture for the game?
But also, we were thinking about e4, but we got dissuaded because Alejandro was showing us knight g5, and there was this knight takes e4, and there was this crazy lines with queen d1, and it still felt like Hikaru would be doing the pushing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's up for debate. It was just a really, really sharp position.
Okay, you did a great job at ducking the question. Congratulations!
Okay.
Salute. Now,
Nice.
now back to the focus. What do you think? You got to win with white. I'm putting you in Fabi's shoes. Are you playing bishop f1? You playing knight e7? What you doing, Jeffrey? Come on.
I think intuitively, I would definitely feel like bishop f1 is more natural.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm trying to understand, like, knight e7, is it king f7 or what's going on there?
Right.
Yeah, king f7 is kind of forced, because if king h8, then there's not really much, black is not really attacking anything. White can just develop rook d1.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay. And you have just many threats.
Yep.
We were thinking knight e7, king f7, bishop drops back to f1, and the main move. Alejandro, jump in on this one.
Yeah, knight c8 is a necessity because the moves rook takes e7, bishop takes d6 leads into variations that don't really favor black. There's so many lines in which the move rook d1 is impossible to meet.
Right.
You can't move the knight from c5 square because either knight takes f5 or bishop c4 check will pick up something. So in this particular position, bishop c4 anyway.
Right.
Which already looks terrifying, of course. Now, knight h takes f5 is another move instead of bishop c4 that also needs to be considered. Also gives white an advantage. But bishop c4 check is the line that we were looking at, and bishop e6, take that with the rook. Keep the initiative alive. Rook takes, and knight h takes f5. And what do you make of these apples?
Wow.
Come on, you got to win, dude. You got to win.
Yeah,
this is it. This is your time to shine.
I guess, like, so bishop e2, rook e... Oh, wait, no, actually, it looks pretty good for white, I have to say.
Exactly. That was our impression as well, that Fabi was in the driver's seat here.
And, yeah, I also had my eye on the Hikaru game.
Okay. We'll jump to that one. We thought that, well, frankly, that Hikaru wasn't going to get any compensation. He did play the awfully slow king h8, h6, ponderously slow, but he's gotten an f5. Your thoughts about Hikaru? And Hikaru, he's knocking. He's at the back door, but he's knocking, trying to get in. He needs to put together some wins. Do you think Hikaru can do that, Jeffrey?
Yeah, you're right. He does need to. I think he's trying in a good way. Like with king h8, that was for sure mandatory. And the good news for him is I think this is the right opponent to sort of, you know, just throw the kitchen sink against, because Raja has been very risk averse in the tournament
Right.
thus far. So if he sees, I mean, he's the most likely guy to see ghosts here. But that being said, I'm not sure if this will pan out. Let's see, I guess.
After F5. Jeffrey, we want to thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us. It's always good to see you. And as the 4th of July comes up, I hope you have a real opportunity to celebrate
And
by winning the World Open.
yes, good luck in World Open.
All right. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Jeffrey.
you. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. And Jeffrey makes a
so-
point,
yeah, I
Dorsa.
mean-